Hello friends, in this video we are going to see pipe network. So first of all we are going to see the definition of pipe network. A pipe network is an interconnected system of pipe. A pipe network is an interconnected system of pipe forming several loops or circuits. Just like the electrical circuits, a pipe network is an interconnected system of pipe and it will form several loops or circuit. That's a closed circuit. Example is your municipal water distribution system and various pipe network system in the laboratories. So this is the example of pipe network you can see here. This is the example of pipe network, but there are some conditions it has to follow. This is an example of pipe network. There are some conditions it has to follow. Then only we can say this is a pipe network. So in this pipe network, you can see the points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Correct? These are the points I have taken. And this is the flow in. The liquid is coming inside and liquid is coming out. Flow in and flow out. So here we are having loops. Pipe network loops are, so closed loop you can see the first one is ABCGFA. ABCGFA, this loop. Second one is FEGF. FEGF, this loop. GHG, this loop. And GHDG, this loop. And last one is GDCG, this loop. Correct? So individually there are 4 to 5 loops you can see here, and one bigger loop also you can see. And the most important thing about the direction of flow, so you can see in the pipe network it is given arrow marks in all the, so AB is a pipe actually. AB we have to consider like a pipe, BC is another pipe, CG is another pipe. Like this, different pipes are connected in some arrangement, and this can be called as pipe network, but it has to follow some different conditions that we are going to see. But what I want to say here about the, look at the direction arrow marks here. Correct? So directions are given here, arrow marks, and this we are going to understand how we can put the direction, whether it is going left, right, or up, down. Correct? That we can see. So in order to understand the direction, we have to see the conditions. Just go into the next slide. Conditions of pipe network. So the first one is your, the flow into each junction must be equal to the flow out of the junction. That is continuity equation. Correct? What is continuity equation? Continuity equation is your mass conservation equation, right? Mass conservation equation. Mass conservation. The flow into each junction must be equal to flow out of the junction. That is continuity equation. The pipe network also has to satisfy the continuity equation, that is in a mass conservation equation. That is the flow, the net flow into any junction must be 0, delta Q equal to 0. Second one is the algebraic sum of head losses around each loop must be 0. Algebraic sum of head losses means we have to take the sign plus minus of all the head losses around each loop. One loop must be 0. That is, in each loop the head loss due to flow in clockwise direction must be equal to the loss of head due to flow in the anti-clockwise direction, and then only we'll get the algebraic sum of the head losses equal to 0. Just like the Kirchhoff's first law and second law, so summation of IR drops in a closed circuit must be equal to 0. Correct? IR drop, sigma IR drop must be equal to 0. Correct? Same way, in this case we are having summation of head losses around each loop must be 0, and the net current going into the system must be equal to net current going out of the junction. Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's second law, it is almost similar to that. So continuity equation is here, first one, and second one is algebraic sum of head losses around each loop must be 0. So the head loss due to flow in the clockwise direction, we are taking clockwise direction as positive, and the one which is going in the anti-clockwise direction will take the negative. I'll write here negative. and clockwise direction will take it positive. Now look at this note here. The loss of head in each pipe is expressed as HF is equal to R Q to the power N. Correct. So this we are going to see in the next step. Let us understand the direction. So this direction we can understand with the help of the second point. The algebraic sum of a head losses around each loop must be 0. How we can get 0 actually? Look at this. I'm going to the pipe network, the first slide figure. So you can see the direction of, let us say I'm taking the second loop FEGF. Correct. I'm taking the second loop FEGF. Correct. And let me erase the direction so that you can understand. Okay, FEGF. So in this loop FEGF, you can see there's a direction is from F to E. You can see here F to E direction, and this is from F to G. So I can take this. Look at this. So this is going in which direction? This is going in the anti-clockwise direction. So one pipe flow direction must be in the opposite direction, so that the plus minus will give you exactly equal to 0. The plus minus must give you exactly equal to 0. So this will be anti-clockwise. This is negative and this is positive. This is negative and this is positive. So negative positive will be 0. If you see this direction, this loop also, third one, GHG. In this case also, this is moving in the, these two are moving in the anti-clockwise. So it is, clockwise, so it is positive. And the third one must be in the opposite direction, that is negative. Positive, negative, 0. So like this you can understand, if some direction is not given, you can give it. This is also in the positive, you can see clockwise, and this is anti-clockwise, negative. Same way here, these two are in clockwise, positive, and the third one is negative. Look at this bigger one. Look at this bigger one. So A to B, B to C, and C to G, this is moving in the anti-clockwise direction, so negative, and these two are moving in the clockwise direction, positive. So that means in a loop, one direction must be in the opposite, then only it will become 0. Otherwise, it will be either positive or negative completely, correct? So both directions should be there, positive and negative. So that is about the head loss. The algebraic sum of the head losses around each loop must be 0. That is, in each loop, the head loss due to flow in the clockwise direction must be equal to the loss of head due to flow in the anti-clockwise direction. So whatever be the head loss in a loop using the two pipes, suppose they are having positive value of 5 meter, then GD must also give you the 5 meter in the opposite direction. So net head loss in the each loop must be equal to 0. If these conditions are satisfied by any network, any arrangement of the pipe, then that particular arrangement can be called as pipe network. So what are the two important conditions we have to supply? We have to apply, number one is continuity equation. Number one is continuity equation must be satisfied. And summation of head losses, that's sigma H F, you can see head loss due to friction must be equal to 0. If these two conditions are satisfied, then we can say definitely the arrangement is following the condition of pipe network. Now we are going to see the loss of head in each pipe is expressed as HF equal to R Q to the power N. This is one equation we are having. Head loss due to friction is equal to R into Q, which is discharge, and a number that is Q to the power N is there. We are going to see what is N, where R depends on length of pipe, diameter of pipe, and coefficient of friction. The question is, sir, how we got this? How we got this actually, length, diameter, and coefficient. So what is R? That we are going to see in the next page. Look at this. Loss of head due to friction. So we have to do a small derivation here. Head loss from the Darcy-Weisbach equation. You know the formula of Darcy-Weisbach equation. Head loss due to friction, right? Head loss due to friction. So HF is equal to 4FLV square by D into 2G. This is the formula, and the unit will be meter. So using this concept of Darcy-Weisbach equation, we are having HF is equal to 4FLV square by D into 2G. Correct? Exactly, it is written like this. Now 4FL is as it is. Now velocity we can write discharge by area, Q by A. So that is what it is written as Q by N square. Denominator is same, D into 2G as it is, no change. Coming to the numerator again, 4FL as it is, Q square it is written here, D into 2G as it is, area. Now area we have brought into denominator, and area formula is pi over 4 D square, and D is the diameter of the pipe. D is the diameter of pipe. Okay, so pi over 4 D square is the area, but we are having area square, so we have kept squares here. Now HF is equal to, what we have done here in the next step, we have taken Q square outside, and everything we kept in a bracket, like 4FL D into 2G pi over 4 D square whole square, everything except Q, we have kept all the remaining terms inside the bracket. Why? Because I'll tell you the reason. These things are constant actually. These things are constant. You can see 4 is constant. The moment I have given you a pipe, suppose, the moment I have given you a pipe like this, so for this given pipe, your length will be fixed, correct? Your length will be fixed. Your diameter will be fixed. So these all are constant for a given length, given pipe actually. So for a given pipe, diameter, length, and also head loss due to friction, F value is also constant. So 4FL, you can see 4FL by D, D is also constant, 2 is also constant, D is acceleration due to gravity constant, pi by 4 is constant, D square is constant. Everything is almost constant, so Q square. So all this term kept together, and we have given the symbol as R, small letter R. HF is equal to R Q square, correct? And we know that this formula, Darcy-Weisbach equation, is mostly used for the turbulent flow, correct? Turbulent flow, where the value of N is equal to, so if for turbulent flow we are getting Q square, so N is equal to 2 actually. So HF is equal to R, you can see R here, Q to the power N, and N equal to 2 for turbulent flow, correct? So from this equation, can I tell you that R depends on, so what is inside the R actually? Inside the R we can see F is there, right? F, coefficient of friction. So R depends upon coefficient of friction, number one. Second one, D is also there. D is your diameter of pipe. So I will write here F instead of R. I will write here F. So your R depends upon these parameters. F is your coefficient of friction. D is diameter of pipe, and one more thing is there, L. L is the length of the pipe. So the same thing it is written in the previous slide. You can see. I'll go back. FDL. So length, friction coefficient, and diameter of pipe. You can see here length, friction coefficient, and diameter of pipe. Correct. And for turbulent flow, N is equal to 2. It is mentioned. Now, what is the note here? Head loss will be positive when the pipe is a part of the loop, and flow in pipe is clockwise. That we have already considered, that if the flow is in the clockwise direction, we'll take it positive. Head loss will be positive when the pipe is a part of the loop and the flow in pipe is clockwise direction, and anti-clockwise it will be negative. Okay, thank you.